Hello students, I will keep this very brief. We have a couple of minutes. I'd like to take this time to introduce you to our science today. There are many times where we around in our lives and we see science and we never really look at it like this. So this short brief narrative is about um, studying the science of items that we use daily. This next topic that we will do will be on algae. There are two types of algae, green algae and brown algae, that I will be talking about today. This picture that you see here is a picture taken at a pond in Patterson, Texas. If you notice, on the right there's water and shadows of water. On the left there's this green stuff. That is green algae. In this picture you will see that there is brown algae. This is at a pond in the zoo in Waco, Texas, and the brown stuff that you see is what we call the brown algae. Okay, and in the middle there's water there. There's Now there's this bridge, and if you notice there's more algae around the bridge there. So algae can grow in like what we call still water and kind of running water. The next thing we're going to talk about is life. Let's look at how things have life around us. In this particular picture you see a rose. It is budding. I want to share something with you. This rose is in my yard, and it was given to me by my middle son and his stepdad when he was a little bitty boy. And every year I get a lot of roses from it. And now I get to share it with everyone. This is a little bud. There's life in this rose. There's life in this rose bush. How do we know that? Look at all the green leaves around it. And as the rose come to life, there's this yellow rose in the middle, and you see how it's just there. Okay? Then we move on to the top of the rose. As you can see, it shows you, looking at it from this angle, shows you how there's many layers in this rose, and as the time passes those layers will loosen themselves, making it more lively, making more life in this particular rose. Now look, see how it's loosening itself and the roses are opening up? How beautiful. Look at that yellow, and look how the tips have slight red. Have you ever wandered by a rose bush and wondered how long does it take for a rose to open up fully? Well, next time you're by one, or your parents or someone have some roses in their yard, take a look. Look at them when they're closed. Look at them when they open, and pay attention to how long this life takes from the time that it's closed to the time that it's open, where maybe you can clip it and put it inside or something of that sort. Now we have what we call blueberries. This particular blueberry tree is found in a neighborhood, and if you notice, it has a lot of little light red berries. These berries are not fully ready to eat. They might taste a little tart, but as we go on you'll see more of these little darker berries, and we'll talk more about them. These are moms that are in my yard, and I planted them, and every year they come up by themselves. You just gotta, if it's gonna be a freeze, you want to cover it. However, look how much life is in this plant. The green leaves, the flower moms are all different colors and just gorgeous. Do we see any death in this plant? No life? And what color tells you that? Oh, it's the brown leaves. Very good. Okay, these trees are trees taken in Texas Southern University property, on Texas Southern University property. How much life is there? Do you see all this greenness around here? There's some little yellow in the middle, but do you see all this greenness? Isn't that beautiful? It is gorgeous, is it not? I think I could just sit there and lay in a hammock and enjoy the shade, the breeze, and just watch the trees. Okay, this is a garden taken at Texas Southern University. They're growing things, and if you notice in the middle there, there's this long patch of greenness. Lots of greenness, isn't it? And then they got some other things that are growing that are more space between there. And this is what they call a community garden. So other people come in and pick out some things that they need, maybe greens, cabbage, things like that. There's plenty of life there, right? Okay. Now, in this garden, this tree is in my parents' yard, and there are peaches. My mom loved to preserve peaches, and you can pick them right off the tree, or you can pick them, peel them, and do your canning. I don't know how to can, but it can do that. Okay. There's plenty of life in that tree, and what color tells us that there's life? Green. That is correct. Okay, now, you see the mulberry tree I told you about? Look how many more mulberries, and look, they're dark. These kind you can just pull off the tree and put them in a cup, rinse them off with some water, and just eat. And I always heard this saying, if God can feed the birds, he can feed you. Look how many things that are just growing around us that are full of life and energy, and all we have to do is just pick it if we can and rinse it off and eat it. Okay, this is a persimmon tree. It has yellow fruit, it's kind of soft, and it's plentiful. This tree is heavy. Someone needs to pick it. Now we're going on to the mushrooms. Mushrooms come in different colors. Today we're going to talk about some brown ones, some white ones, and some edible ones. Okay, this is an edible mushroom. It's been sliced and sauteed right there in the middle. I love mushrooms. I like them fried and I like them sauteed. However, all mushrooms are not edible. Let's look at some that are not. This mushroom I found at Texas Southern University's yard. There's two of them right there. They're kind of big together. If you notice, there's plenty of life around there. But the brown mushroom is gorgeous. Look at that. It makes a really pretty item in that garden. The next one, a few days later, or maybe a week or so, I come by and the mushrooms are right there. So someone decided, oh, I don't want those mushrooms to grow in that place. It doesn't look right. I thought it was pretty, and turned it over, and this is what you get. It's decaying. There's still a lot of life in that mushroom, but it kind of tends to eat off of itself until it dies. That's it on top. See how it's degrading on the top, getting away, losing its life. And this is a mushroom that I found in my own yard. It is white. You see it's brown in the center there. So again, I want to remind you that it is not edible. The grass around it is very green, so there's lots of life. If you notice, this mushroom is getting bigger. It's opening up. The same mushroom, but it's getting bigger. And there. So I broke it so I can show you the bottom. Underneath this one is like fans, little bitty lines, and if you take your hand and fingernail and go across it, it'll fan back like a fan. And the stem there is in the middle. And if you move right there is where I broke it off at. It's still in the ground, so I don't know if it'll bloom another one or not. I'll check in a few days and see. So the next thing we're going to talk about is waste. There are many things that we find that are wasteful, but sometimes we can find things to do with the waste, and sometimes we other solutions. This is a plastic ball. It's built on recyclable plastics, and it was at a park event that we attended. And inside is a person, and the person in the orange pushes the ball down and pushes back. You can either roll around, which I think would make you dizzy, or you can walk, which would keep you from rolling around. as they roll you from one end of the spectrum to the other. Here's another thing that is very wasteful, but we can't do anything with it. We were at the neighborhood Family Dollar store, and water was everywhere. And my daughter and I were like, where's this water coming from? So the next day it was the same thing. I'm like, wow, they're going to have a water bill that's unpayable. So I looked around, and this is what I found. This spout had been broken, and the water was just shooting up out the ground. Normally you see like a little black spout or something where it rises when the water's watering the grass, and when it's turned off, it goes back in the ground. I think the tip of that broke off, and that's a lot of water coming out of there. So it's going to be a high water bill. And again, that is what? Waste. That is correct. Okay, we're at the park again, and this giraffe is squatting down in a position like he excels its waist. Also, how he eats. So, long legs doesn't keep you from being able to get rid of the waste. Okay, this is the end. I want to conclude with this. Life is all around us. As we walk our daily paths, as we ride in the back of the cars in our parents' cars, as we go through life, remember, science is all around us. Take a look. Notice the waste, the different things that grow, whether we can eat them or not eat them, and the greenness that are around us. Is it life or not? And remember, science is all around us.